Hey guys, CoffinSkate here, and I know this is something that other gaming related channels have talked about, game ranks, Dreamcast guy, and whatnot. But I also wanted to give my 2 cents on this. I wanted to talk about this when it was first reported, but because of my work schedule, it's been, haven't really had all the time in the world to do that recently. So, but anyways, for those of you who are unaware, a site known as The Gamer reported that the PS3, Vita, and PSP stores will be permanently closing during the summer. Now, still to my knowledge, Sony has not made any statement talking about this. What happened to... Okay. Sony hasn't made any sort of official statements talking about this. I haven't even checked their Twitter. I probably should have checked that too. But yeah, last I heard, they haven't made any sort of statement on this. But yeah, that's what is reportedly going down. So now this is something that honestly really has me very nervous. I'm very nervous about this because there are hundreds of games on all three of those platforms that when they close down the stores for those platforms, you won't be able to purchase them again. I mean, I know that sounds obvious, but it would mean that hundreds of games would be gone. And that's the unfortunate thing with this whole with that. Tons of PS3 games, Vita games, PSP games, and then to add on to it, the PS1 and 2 classics, and the minis and whatnot. Just tons of games will be gone thanks to the closing of these storefronts, and that's what has me really nervous. Oh, and then also you won't be able to you won't be able to buy any DLC for games that have DLC, such as any Call of Duty games or games like Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, and whatnot. And you know, and in a lot of cases, buying the digital versions is actually a great alternative if the physical copy is quite expensive. Like recently, I bought Persona 4 Arena Ultimax on the PS3 because the physical is like going upwards of $100 right now. Even just the game itself, not disc only, like a complete copy of the game. I mean, so Persona 4 Arena Original, that's like very inexpensive. You can find that for like under $20. But Persona 4 Arena Ultimax is like $100 game on PS3, complete. If you buy the Japanese version, that's not really a problem because it's actually still affordable when it comes to the Japanese version, and is also region free. But when it comes to the US release, that's like going really high up there in price. So I just ended up buying the digital version, and I also bought the 3 DLC characters as well. Marie, Margaret, and Adachi. So, and then also, there are quite a few... and also to add on to this, the Xbox 360 version Persona 4 Arena Ultimax is also going up in price as well. It's like a $60 game last I checked. So, and then not to mention, there are quite a few PS2 games, and, well, I wouldn't say nearly as many PS2 games, but there are a few PS2 games, as well as a few PS1 games. Quite a few PS1 games actually. They're on the PlayStation Store, where the physical copy is actually is either really expensive or getting really expensive. The main ones that I can remember right now are the Mega Man Legends games. Those, I don't, you know what? Now let me check the prices of those. PS1. There we go. I'm just gonna go off eBay prices. Buy it now. Let's authentic. Yeah, so an authentic copy of Mega Man Legends 1. There's a listing here for $100. So, and just retro games are going up in price in general. So, buying them off the PlayStation Store is a great alternative. So that's so the fact that these stores will be closing will mean that unless you emulate them, which that's also an option as well. But if you prefer to, I guess, actually buy the game and not have to emulate it, and piracy, of course, it's not legal or anything. But at this point, where we're at with video game preservation, that's like the only option. And in outside of buying it off PlayStation Store. And I know, and for me, if there's a game that I want to play on the PS1 that is where the physical copy is really expensive, I just resort to downloading a ROM onto I just resort to downloading a ROM and installing it on my PlayStation 1 Classic and playing it that way. That's and there's also another problem with this. It turns out that there is a issue with the PS3 with the CMOS battery, also known as also known as a PRAM battery. If that dies, it will, if you are disconnected to the internet, from my understanding, you'll basically not have access to any of your digital games or anything. As a matter of fact, IGN India made a tweet about this. I'm sorry, not a tweet, an article about this, and even Does It Play. And I'll leave links to these articles in the description below. But yeah, it where's the, probably should have found the tweet first. Okay. Yeah, so basically from my understanding, like I said, if that battery dies, you won't be able to change the date using the internet on your PS3, and basically from my understanding, your PS3 won't be able to stay up to date. And if Sony, basically you won't have access to your digital games if your CMOS battery dies. And to add on to that, if the servers for the PS3 are shut down too, then there's no way for the PS3 to kind of authenticate with the servers. Therefore, again, you won't have access to your digital games. I'm sorry if that was a poor explanation, but as a matter of fact, let me quote the tweet here from Hikakomori Media. I probably butchered that, but they sent out a tweet to ask PlayStation. And let me read that off. Hello, I am a concerned owner of a PS3, PSP, and PS Vita who owns a large library of digital titles. I want to know what Sony will do to allow access to my digital titles when my devices can no longer connect to Sony servers to authenticate the time. As it stands, my PS3 has a dead pram CMOS battery. I'm disconnected from the internet and changing the date. I'm not allowed to launch any of my purchased digital content. And then he also mentions there's a video clip of it happening. So again, I will link this stuff in the description below. And also this affects DLC. So if you're playing something like Persona 5 on the PS3, for instance, and you've used DLC for a save file, you won't be able to access that save file, and therefore your save file is basically dead. So basically if your CMOS battery dies, it's basically saying your PS3 is a ticking time bomb when it comes to digital content. When it comes to physical games, that's no problem unless you're playing on a PS4. As it turns out, in this same article, IGN India goes over the fact that the PS4 has it even worse, where if the CMOS battery dies in that, it renders all PS4 digital content unplayable, and it even kills disc playback, so you won't be able to play your physical games on a PS4 as well. In the tweet there's a tweet from Does It Play that is brought up in this article that says, everyone worrying about a non-existent de novo problem probably was mentioning that about, or when they said that the PS5 was using de novo for some games. Anyways, when what they should be worrying about is error CE 34878-0. When the PS4 CMOS battery dies, and it will, it renders all PS4 digital files unusable without a server reconnection, and in PS4 it will also kill disc playback. And another user on Twitter was by the name of Lance McDonald. Their Twitter handle is @manfightdragon. I've not heard of this person, so I'm not sure if they're a popular YouTuber or anything either. But they retweeted it saying this error is because trophies on PS4 require the internal system clock, the one you can't see/alter, to be correct. So people can't change their PS4 date and time to make it look like they got trophies earlier than they really did. If your PS4 clock battery dies, all your games die. So yeah, from my understanding, Sony just put some bullshit DRM stuff in their consoles. Therefore, when their servers go down for these consoles, or your CMOS battery dies, all your digital content is basically rendered unplayable. And DLC is can't be used either. So it could also fuck up games like the aforementioned Persona 5. So this is worrying for not just, or for mainly for game preservation. Because it, as people have mentioned before, companies just do not care about or don't put any thought or care into video game preservation and preserving their legacy titles and whatnot, and that's basically what's going on here. So, granted, we've also seen a lot of these games on the PS3, Vita, and PSP get ported to other platforms. But as for the games that still have yet to get ported to other platforms, or haven't get ported to platforms, or probably won't get ported to other platforms, that's where we really start to see problems. And again, also DLC is a huge issue here as well. So, Oh, and then also, like I said, PS4 is even worse with this issue where obviously physical, like I mentioned before, physical games won't work on your PS4, and like Sony, why? uh, Basically, what I'm hoping is that Sony releases a patch or a update before they shut down the servers for these consoles that will basically change how the CMOS battery works or something like that, or basically make it where you can still play your digital content without needing to connect to an online server of some kind. So, which is interesting because this is almost, this is to me, uh, is kind of obviously not exactly the same, but this kind of reminds me of the thing that Microsoft tried doing with the Xbox One, where they tried putting in some DRM stuff where if you can't connect to the internet, you won't be able to play your digital games or anything, or any of your games, physical games, digital games, and then putting some weird uh, sort of stuff with the I can't remember all this, like um, like basically the physical disc would have like a code that would be attached to your account and whatnot. That's from what I remember, but yeah, it's kind of, it sounds kind of similar to that, but not nearly like that. But at the same time, it's I don't know what's worse here. So, but yeah, it's I, yeah, I'm really nervous about this. I'm because for one, well, it does sound like it's easy to replace the battery. Um, who knows how many batteries there are out there to fix this issue and just alleviate the issue. And even so, like I said, when they shut down servers for these consoles, specifically PS3 and PS4, then any reconnections to the internet and whatnot will basically be impossible. Therefore, basically break your console. You won't be able to access digital games or whatnot, or in the case of PS4, play physical games. Now, if you jailbreak these consoles, I don't think that'd be much of an issue. I don't think the servers shutting down will be much of an issue. But that's my main concern. I hope Sony addresses this, or addresses this. Therefore, and finds a way to, you know, have it where you can access your digital content offline even when they shut down the servers. So either way, just I'm nervous about this, and I hope Sony makes a statement about it and comes out with at least some good news. Like, you know, even if they announce that they'll be still be shutting, even if they officially announce that they'll be shutting down or closing these stores, even if they bring some good news and release a patch that that will allow you to access your digital content even when they shut down the servers for these consoles, and even when the battery dies. I hope, even if that ends up being the case, I would take that over, them just saying, hey, we're closing down the stores for PS3, Vita, and PSP later this summer. Bye, everyone. So, yeah, so that's really all I wanted to say. I apologize if I explained some things really poorly. Again, I will leave links to the articles in the description below, and I will leave a link to the Does It Play Twitter in the description below as well. I should also mention the dates. For the PS3 and PSP, it will be closed on July 2nd. For PS Vita, it will stay open until August 27th. And that's coming from the Gamer article. So, but yeah, I should also mention. I should also mention there are also quite a few games that are on the PS3 digitally. They're also available on 360. So if you have a 360, then that'll also be a good alternative. If you don't get some of these games before they shut down or before they close the store. Of course, obviously PS1 and PS2 games, and probably a bunch of minis. Of course, you won't be able to buy those off through Xbox Live. By the way, I do know about the Xbox Network thing. I'm still gonna call it Xbox Live. It just doesn't roll off the tongue as well. Or Xbox Network just doesn't roll off the tongue as well. There's just Xbox Live just flows better. So, but anyways, but yeah, either way, it's just it's gonna be heartbreaking if or when this happens. So, yeah. Anyways, yeah, that's it. Let me know in the comment section below how you guys feel about this, and thank you guys so much for watching. I'm CoffinSkate signing off, and have a great rest of your day.